Hello my beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl again, Anothando Molosi, Molweni, Sanbonan, Dumelang, Da, Salam, Goeiedag. Hello, welcome guys back to my YouTube channel. Today we're talking about how to improve your credit score. It's still August, so we're talking money matters in this channel. So before I continue, I'd like to bring it to your attention that none of these videos constitute financial advice. So if you're looking for financial advice, please speak to someone who is a professional financial advisor and who is certified. Okay, so let's talk about how to improve your credit score. Okay, maybe before I get to that, some people might be like, okay, what is a credit score now? What is I'm not talking about, Okay, I'll just go to Google and get the Google version of what a credit score is, and then I'll just dive into the video. What it says is a credit score is a number between 300 and 850 that depicts a consumer's credit worthiness. The higher the score, the better a borrower looks to potential lenders. Lenders use credit scores to evaluate the probability that an individual will repay a loan in timely manner. Okay, that's what Google says. So it actually says that the higher the credit score, the better. So we want to improve it to be higher, because 700 or 800, that's what we want. That's what we want your credit score to look like. So what it actually means, it makes you to be credit worthy. So it makes your chances of getting a loan or a credit to be higher. The higher your credit score, then the better chances of you getting approved for a loan. I know you're all looking at me like, we thought Anna has a good relationship with money, so why is she now like telling us to be worthy of getting a credit? Credit is bad and I know, okay? I know. But guys, let's face the reality. I think let's first differentiate between good credit and bad credit. I'm not gonna get into details, but there's good credit and there's bad credit. I'll just make a quick example. Like going and borrowing money to go and have fish and chips somewhere might be a good credit. It might be a bad credit, sorry. It's not something that you'd really want. But let's face the reality. Some of us are not rich, okay, maybe yet. So we do need some debt to have access to the things that we want, that we might end up owning at the end, like buying a house. Now, some of us are not rich to a point whereby you can just wake up tomorrow and be like, I love that 3 million house, by the way. Let me just go to the bank and get the 3 million and swipe from my account, from one of my accounts, and get that house. No cash, we can't. So in order for you to get what you want, you need to then go to the bank or the borrower and be like, okay, I want this house, so that they give you their money to go and buy that house, and then you pay them on a monthly basis what you can afford. So that is a good debt, because at the end of the day, you're gonna own that house and you're paying it. Just that the bank is gonna give you that with an interest, because it's their money. They don't borrow you for free. You're paying for using their money to get what you want. So okay guys, and then now I want us to talk about, maybe someone is like, but why should I care? What if I have a good credit or so? Like I explained, it helps you first to get access to the bank's money to buy the thing which you want, but you can't afford currently, like buying a house or buying a car. So it helps you, or buying other things like getting building loans for those who want to build. So they are good debt. So it helps you when you have a good credit score. And then secondly, it saves you money, because when you have a bad credit record, then it costs you a lot. One, you run the risk of not being approved or being rejected by the banks, even when now you really want to buy a house, or you really now, let's say you were playing initially, but now you are serious and you want to get some things that belong to you, then you might not have access to debt. Banks might reject you, all of them. And then now what you do, you end up going around and renting people's house, which is not really a bad thing if you look at it. There are advantages and disadvantages, but the disadvantage is that you will never own it, because you will just keep renting. The way I explain renting is, unless you know what you're doing, renting is like you pouring some water into nevuzayo, and then you never actually get to keep it, because as you pour it in, it goes out, so you don't have anything. Whereas when you're paying your own house, then as much as it might take you a couple of years, but eventually it will be your house, and then you will own it, unless you decide to resell and then go and get another house. That's up to you. And then thirdly, if the banks or the lenders actually borrow you their money, even though you have a bad credit record, they're gonna charge you a very high interest rate, because you are a risk, and they know that they run a risk of you not returning that money ever. Because if you have a bad record, it means you are paying late, you are doing all sort of things. So now, me borrowing you my money, then I need to know, but hey, there's a possibility that this person might not return this money, I might not get it back. So the risk is very high. So what do you do then? What the banks do, they charge you a lot of interest rate, so that at least, should you decide somewhere down the line that you don't want to pay anymore, at least they got enough money out of you, so yeah. Okay, so let's talk about, I'll talk later, okay, maybe let's talk about it now, that the platforms that you can use to check your credit score. I'm personally using a Clear Score. It's good for me, it's still working fine, because they're sending me reports like every month. They can even email you. They have an app, you can go to the app or go to their site and log in, you register and you get login details, and then every month you see if your credit score is going up and down. So I actually know that, okay, this month I don't want to look at my report, but I look at it anyway, because it's good to know how much is your credit score. Otherwise, if you don't check that, then I advise that you start doing so. Okay, so now let's talk about what makes you have a bad credit score. Like, for starters, name one is not having debt. Okay, guys, let me tell you something about me. If you don't have debt, I'm sure some of you are like, what? Shouldn't that be okay? Because it means I don't owe anyone, blah, blah, blah. I thought so too from the beginning. I remember I like clothes, I like nice things, but for me, even furniture, I don't want to buy things on credit, guys. I wanna rather save. And I think I made a decision early in my life, that I won't even be affected by peer pressure. I won't even be affected by a couple of things. If I want something, I rather save for it and go and get it. Or if maybe there's a shop that does a lay-by, then I go and lay-by whatever it is that I want, whether it's clothes, whatever. And I just made a decision in my life that I don't want debt. Initially, when I thought things are gonna be different. I even thought I was even gonna save and buy my house cash, but okay, reality happens. When you get older, you realize, well, okay, actually, it's not gonna work, because it might take me like longer than I thought. But It can be done. So initially I never had any debt. Like, I just didn't want anything to do with debt. I didn't want accounts. I didn't want anything until I had to buy a house. And then I'm getting higher interest rates. I'm like, really? I'm permanently employed now. I don't have debts and I can afford the house that I'm buying at least. Why are you guys like giving me this? And then they explain, they're like, no, I think even some banks declined me. I'm like, but why? I couldn't understand. And then the agent had to explain to me, be like, baby girl, you don't have any credit record. So now you are a risk to the banks, you know. And some banks even told me when I contacted them and be like, but why, guys? And they're like, no, you are a risk. And I was using some bank here that I won't mention here. And normally when you want to take debt, it's kind of give you some disadvantages. I'm sure some of you will know. So I got approved by, I think, only 2 banks, and my chances of negotiating, I didn't even know about that though back then, that I could. My chances of negotiating were very slim. So I got approved, luckily, but by, I think, only 2 banks approved me. And also with the very high, I think one was like at 18%. I was like, what? For a house? No. So eventually I got approved. I think I first got approved by SA Home Loans. They were the ones with the lower interest rate for my first bond. Okay, enough about that. So not having credit at all is bad for your credit score, guys, because the thing is, there's no history, there's no record of how are you as the borrower. Like, how do you behave? Do you pay on time? Do you not pay? You know, those things. So if you don't have sorry about that, guys. My neighbor is having some party. She's hosting some people there, so I hope it doesn't disturb you, the noise. So if you don't have any debt like I used to back then, I would advise that you go to even like shops like Telkom, the mobile shops. You just go and get, even if it's a SIM card that will give you data that you will have to pay 59 rand or 100 rands a month, but get something. Or even if you go to like get a clothing account, but make sure, even though you qualify for 10,000 or 1,000 rand, especially if you know that you're not that disciplined, get a very low credit limit. Even if you go and say, I want a credit limit of 200, and then you go and take things and then you pay like that money, you know, you pay, then at least there will be a record. So after 3 months or 6, at least that should improve your score. Okay. And then number 2, if you have late payments, then it will dent your credit score. Like when you go and take a loan or go take clothing accounts, but then you decide not to pay on time, then it dents your credit score, guys. Don't do it. And then if you don't make payments at all, you go and take a loan, then when you sign that contract, it's an agreement between you and the lender or the bank or the finance institution. Then when you don't pay, then your account gets into areas that affects your credit score, because you get reported to credit bureau and stuff. So don't do it. And then if you have debt, because you're not paying, and then they get handed over to debt collectors, and then that affects your credit score too. And then if you also let's say you have a credit card, and then you use that credit card, you max it out, That is very bad for your credit score, guys. But I'll tell you, when I tell you how to improve your credit score, I'll tell you how you can also use a credit card to help you boost your credit score. And then if you make a lot of inquiries, let's say you're looking for something and then you're not sure, you're looking for a car or you're looking for a house and you're not sure. You know, these days I think maybe because of the pandemic or whatever, a lot of agents, what I'm seeing lately, before they even arrange viewing with you, of which I don't agree to. For me, I just don't do it. Before they even do that, they're like, no, let's pre-qualify you first. Let's go and check if you qualify, and I'm like, nope, because and they want you to send them your documents. And once you do that, they go and check if you will really qualify. And in order for them to check, they need to go and check, but can this person qualify? And that means the credit check will be done on your name. And the more you do that, what then the credit bureau sees you as someone who is desperately looking for debt. Sorry, guys. They see you as someone who's desperately looking for debt, and that hurts your credit score so much. So please try not to do it. Try to how can I say it? Try to only try to do your viewings, whatever you want to do, even if it's a car, a house, or whatever, and then you make sure that you give your documents. On the final car, you can just go and do an estimate online without really putting your details to check roughly how much you'll be paying for a car of whatever amount. And I think the banks can also just do that without having, even the dealers, without even having your documents, just the rough estimate of how much you'll be paying, on the finance calculators. I think they can do that. Try to only give your documents when you are at the end, when you know that, okay, this is the one, this is the house that I've been looking for, this is the car that I've been looking for, I'm definitely taking this, especially if I get approved by the bank. Then only then give your documents. Perhaps when you do that as well, I know sometimes you would get busy and not focus on that thing at the time when you're applying. Don't do an application this month, and then let's say maybe you're not happy with if you submit to one bank, let's say you're not happy about the percentage you got, and then you wait for a couple of weeks, and then you go next month, you go to the other banks. Those inquiries, even though it's for the same debt, those inquiries, if you do them like they look like you are constantly looking for debt, because now you're coming from Standard Bank, you're going to FNB, and so I think the best thing you can do, it also helps you so that you don't have to fill in all those papers to all the banks, because it can get tiring, I'm telling you, to make all those applications, because in order for them to see whether they can approve you or not, you need to fill in like papers, and it gets a lot at times. So normally I would say rather go to the dealer or the agent that is doing the application for you, or that is selling you the house. They normally have finance people there. You just give your details once, you fill in one form. What they do, they submit to all the banks, and then you then get different responses. Then it saves you that time of also like having to now fill in documents at lender A and then lender B, and so it also helps you on a credit score. And if you make an application, make sure you do it at least once, like if you do it now, next month, and but if you do it at the same time, at least it doesn't look bad, as far as I know, I think. So yeah. And also, guys, if you have too much debt, like you have credit cards, you have loans, you have this, you have that, then it's so bad for your credit score. And you might even go and make inquiries, like I said, and then the banks be like, nope, you don't afford, and then that rejection gets registered on your name, and then it affects your credit score. Okay, so enough about that. I hope I didn't scare you all, but you should be scared if you're doing bad things, not paying your accounts and having late payments. Then you should stop doing that, because now it might be fun and look okay, but eventually you don't know when you're gonna need the credit, so yeah, don't do it. But that's why I'm here to tell you how to improve that credit score of yours and get it looking good. Okay, I know I said don't have too much debt, but I also said not having a credit record, like not having debt at all, it's bad for your credit record. But one thing that you need to do to improve your credit score is to have debt. Not much, like I said, just go and get a SIM card from Telkom, whatever, just for minutes or whatever, something that you don't really, because maybe if you go and get a credit card, or if you get a credit card, make sure your limit is like this, so that you don't get to use it, or you don't get to use all of it, or if you use it, then at least you can be able to pay it. But a SIM card, I think it's a good thing for me, guys, because it's like 99 rand. Make sure you set a debit order with them. Then you don't have to like forget maybe of paying the payment date. They just deduct their money from your account. It helps you, because that get registered on your... If they don't register it, you can still follow up with them and tell them, look, I don't see this on my account, on my credit record, please register it. I think you can speak to your service provider. That's number one. Number two, you must make sure you pay your debts on time. Like if you have an agreement with the bank, please make sure you stick with that agreement. If you agree to pay using a debit order and on this date, make sure on that date on your account there's a money. Please pay your accounts on time and make sure you stick to the agreement that you had with the lender or the bank. That will help you on your credit score, because these late payments, they are the ones that are hurting your credit score a lot. And then number four, what did I talk about, Karen? Number four, don't make a lot of inquiries. Don't go this month and make an inquiry about getting a loan, and then next month you go again, and then you go again. That's so bad. Don't do it, guys. Just don't do it. Don't try and test waters with the banks. Don't. It's not good for you. Don't do it. Just don't. Only go and make those inquiries when you want the loan, when you really want to have a loan, then go and do it. And even if you're looking for a house, or you're looking for a car, or if you're looking for something with you, and then the agents, they like, no, give us your documents before, try to delay that, try not to do it until you see the house, because you might give them your documents, they do that, and then you find that you will only find the house that you're looking for like 3 months down the line, because 3 months down the line, because you can go and view and be like, this is not what I want, this is not what I was looking for, and then like, I don't take it. Fine, but that footprint is in your name, even though you didn't take the loan, guys. So that's how bad it is. So you must try and avoid those inquiries. And then the other one that I want to talk to you about is how you can use your credit score then to improve, how you can use your credit card to improve your credit score. Okay, so if you get a credit card, and then normally you will have a limit, try to make sure that your credit card utilization, okay, some people even say 50%, but now I say 30%, guys, and a lot of books and things that I've done, that I've read, they all talking about 30%. So let's say, for instance, you have 1,000 rand credit card, right? Then try to make sure that you use only 300 out of that. Then, or if you need, let's say you need 300, ne? Then try to apply for a credit card. Don't apply for a 300 rand credit card. Try to apply for a 1,000 rand credit card. Then just use that 300 that you want. Then at least then it will boost your credit score. Because like I said initially, that if you use your credit card, like you max it out, it dents your credit score. But you can still use it, play it to boost your credit score. So you can, even if you someone who doesn't like debt like me, you can even use that credit card, keep it there, don't use their money. Or what you do, let's say you use it for petrol, just take your credit card, go and swipe it for petrol, and then go and put that money back. At least you're still using it and you won't have to pay the interest and. So please guys, I advise you to do that. And what else? Yeah, I don't know guys, what else I want to talk about. Okay, try to reduce your debt. Don't have a lot of debt, don't have loans, credit cards, this, that. Please try to reduce them. Try to pay them off. Try to pay them down as much as you can. I'll do make another video if you guys want on this channel on how to pay off your debt or how to reduce your debt. There are a couple of methods that you can use, but I'll do that on another video. I don't want to keep this video so long. So yeah, okay guys, and if you have any questions about how to improve your credit score, please speak to me. I'm your girl. Let's talk finance matters, guys. Cheers for now. Bye.